Yes. And you don't know the high school, just everybody knows you. Nobody should take instruction. All instruction should be from now. Yes. Anybody need instruction about Biafra is on the school. Yes. Or on everybody. No, we are making progress. You can see that in the high speed, we only do now. That is the president in the high speed. So now we are not seeing any instructions at home. If it's not for yes. No other person. You know, I don't know if any day on our court, I can move back and Southeast, called 1 hour IPOB. I mentioned her name. So now I'm watching. We'll make progress. We'll win the battle. Thank you.
Apart from that 30 more that person.
When you get on your own, and yes,
so can it be
behind him? Giving thank you very
much. Very excited to be here as always, even though, as usual, the DSS prevented me from entering the courtroom. But I'm a living witness to history. The first time my Mazda was abducted from Kenya and brought here, I was in court to warn them that, in fact, I was one of the few people that came here as soon as they did their kangaroo arraignment, that this case is not going anywhere and that there's no way, it doesn't matter how long it takes, it's going to end up the way it started, as nothing, and it will end up as nothing, because there's nothing that can stand up on nothing. The foundation of this was malice. It was the suppression of a section of Nigerian people and the violation of the fundamental right of a Nigerian British citizen who was abducted from another country, brought here without due process and detained indefinitely, even presented from having open and fair trial, which we have seen all over the time. As a matter of fact, today we already had an altercation with the DSS preventing people from moving around here. But you know, they started by blocking everywhere. Now they are tired, they can't even block half of the road because you cannot stop an idea whose time has come. And this is what we have warned them. And I'm glad that they are reaching the dead end that we have predicted. The dead end is that there will be a no-case submission. In fact, I would have an issue with the lawyers if I were to be involved, because there's no need to even file a no-case submission in a case that never existed in the first place. But you have to do your own legal work. And let me use this opportunity to also appreciate all the lawyers and all the people who have stood in solidarity with Nnamdi Kanu. I said it that if I'm the last person that will stand with him, I'll stand with him. And mine is not political. Yes. In fact, the most unpopular political decision to take in Nigeria is to stand with Nnamdi Kanu. So if you want to win an election, you know who to stand with, which is the federal government. Yes. But I'm not doing this to win an election. I'm doing it for the freedom of our people everywhere we might find ourselves. And I believe that if Nigeria is going to become one, it has to be on the basis of justice. You cannot be suppressing a section just as the right to flourish and think that you can go home to rest. And you have seen it now. Even those people who never believed Nnamdi Kanu a few years ago, they have seen it with what the Fulani herdsmen are doing, killing hundreds of people. They are doing it also in the southeast. They've killed in Ebonyi, they killed in Enugu, they are killing in Edo, they are killing in Kogi, they are killing people across the country. Imo, yes, there was some killing. So this was what Nnamdi Kanu told you as a prophet. But he has always told me, when I met him in New York, that he's not a prophet. He's just saying the reality of what the Nigerian project is all about. That it was a fake project put together and it can never materialize until there is justice. And this is what we keep advising them. The interesting thing was that there was even a time in 2019 that they charged me secretly with him. I filed a charge here that I connived with him to kill some policemen. So the case never came to trial, and it will never be. So we can't wait to see Nnamdi Kanu rejoin all of us. And I'm very certain that will happen. Sure. It's just a matter of time. Yes. And it doesn't matter how long they do their case, which I never believed in, by the way. It has come to a situation where everybody has come to the understanding that there was no case, and the case will finally fall apart officially very soon. Thank you guys very much. There's an Igbo problem in Nigeria. That's why they're holding Nnamdi Kanu.
What's your take on
for asking
Nnamdi Kanu's
for
perpetual
Biafra.
detention?
And then we are rehabilitating Boko Haram commanders. He said 120,000 of them have surrendered with foreign currency in their hand. And you have rehabilitated them. But one guy who says, oh, we want justice, we don't want to stay in Nigeria, you are holding him perpetually using the judiciary or judicial, what do I call, subterfuge to keep the trial. And everybody who knows what they are doing understand that it's not a judicial matter.
So Nnamdi is essentially a political prisoner.
He's a political hostage. Well, I'll call him not a political because he may not. Whomever is in power, except me, will keep him in jail.
So do you think that Igbos generally are endangered species in Nigeria? Going back what you just narrated.
The truth, that's the truth. Nigeria did not forgive Igbos since the end of the Civil War.
What did they do?
Because they challenged the real estate of the British called Nigeria. So, and they didn't forgive them since then. So everything has been done after that. We know this is the unspoken truth about the country called Nigeria, that they did not forgive Igbos for the Civil War.
The Igbos were the victims and they have forgiven the victors. So why is it difficult for the victors to...
You are preaching to the choir.
And because he had mentioned once that, in an interview once, he had mentioned that the Igbos will never be president of Nigeria. That is a perpetual, narration to keep the Igbos where they are.
Yeah, so no, it's not about even the presidency. If they find an Igbo man that is malleable, that can work in their interest, they can make him president if he doesn't have any power. You can be a president of, you can be a president of Nigeria and not have the powers of the president. When they wanted to destroy the landmark, who was the minister in charge? It's not an Igbo man.
And Moka is Igbo speaking, also fighting.
It's easier for them to use an Igbo man to carry out. If it was done by a Yoruba man, the uproar would have been worse. But you find an Igbo minister of works to help you demolish Igbo businessmen. You say, can't you see them? So it's easier that way. It's manipulation. It's how Nigeria manipulates people. But I'm not saying that if he was a Yoruba minister, he cannot demolish. They will do it too. It's easy. Anybody could have done it as long as there's an agreement to do it. Because beyond just ethnicity, there's also an elite conspiracy against Nigerian people. So an average poor person is endangered. But you are likely more endangered if you have committed a generational crime against the Nigerian real estate. Owned
by being an Igbo man.
Of course. That's the truth. That's why you were saying, oh, you are Yoruba man. If, based on what I say, they even tell me I'm not Yoruba enough. But I'm of mixed heritage. There's a part of me that is Ijo.
Okay.
And we are the Ijo-speaking Yorubas. We are the Yoruba-speaking Ijos in Ondo State. Okay. So they call us Ijo Apoy.
Ilaje area?
No, it's Ilaje. So we're next to Ilaje.
Okay.
But my great-grandparents came from Yoruba side of things. But the stream that Sowore is named after is in Ijebu waterside. Because that's how they came. So, but, I don't speak to people based on ethnicity. I don't define myself based on my ethnic heritage, even though I do not deny it. But because it underlies our humanity to be assigned an ethnic position before you can be respected. Are you getting my point? Or before your views can carry on, so you have to be a Yoruba man. And then it was,
so we've had
here
Rwanda.
Comes one of them.
We've had Rwanda manage the same ethnic issue in their country with the Hutsi Tutsi thing after years of genocide.
Are you sure they managed it?
Well, to a reasonable extent.
They have to manage it through genocide. And Nigeria
after genocide management.
So this is what you should understand.
Okay.
Nigeria also managed the Igbo problem through genocide. 4 million Igbos.
So was coming to that.
Is that not genocide? But you know the problem I have sometimes even with some of our people is that the same people who shot and killed them are more popular in their midst than those who support their rights. The Obasanjos of this world are embraced as authentic people, but these are the people who went and used third commando to massacre Igbos. What did they name this airport after? Murtala Mohammed, one of the most notorious killers of Igbos. Buhari, they killed Igbos. Danjuma, they killed Igbos. Gowon,
they kill Igbos, but they even love them more than they love those of us who are fighting. People challenge me that they hate me because I support Nnamdi Kanu, and I say so be it, because I know that I'm supporting justice, and I cannot support injustice because I want political favors from a country. If you want to keep carrying out genocide of political nature or continuation of it, you can go ahead. Keep voting for the criminals who are perpetrating it. Let the forest be voting for the axe because the handle is from one of them.
Okay. Yeah, I said something. I would like you to touch more on it. I mean, the Igbos were the victims. Now they are forgiven the victors. There is no place you don't find the footprints of Igbos across the length and breadth.
That's why I say you are preaching to the choir. It's not, Igbos are not only in Nigeria, they're all over the world. I went to Alabama in the US, and the only pharmacist there is an Igbo man. Selma, Alabama. You've heard about Selma.
Yeah.
It's one of the homes of the civil rights movement, where they cross that Petra Bridge.
Exactly.
Igbo man is there. Most likely that's what you find in every community in the US. Igbos are distributed all over the world. There's this urban legend that if Igbos cannot live in a place, the place is not livable. There was a time, a New York Times reporter came to Gamboru Ngala after Boko Haram sacked the place. The only person they found there who was not a Boko Haram member was an Igbo pharmacist. So what are you doing here? He said, well, somebody has to treat them. He was that courageous enough to stay there. So I'm saying all these things so that you can understand that I understand probably more consciously better than most people do. And that informs the reason I can speak categorically about the victimization of Igbo. Otherwise, it is a taboo. Politically, it is incorrect to say that Igbos are victimized by an average Nigerian.
Okay.
All right. So let's move
Because
straight.
nobody wants to hear the truth. And when you say, if somebody's watching me and I get out, they say, Sowore, what's your problem now? Leave these Igbo people alone. You understand? That is the truth. But I cannot, my conscience cannot allow me to accommodate the genocide of 3 million people, 4 million people, and then the continuation of that denunciation of the existence through persecution in which the Nigerian state is carrying out, either through Landmark or Nnamdi Kanu or, look, I told a story, I think it was on the Honest Punch, that in this country, there was a time they were beheading Igbos, putting their heads in calabash and putting on the trains going east.
Do you think that's what's happening in the East right now? Speaking about militarization of the East.
Pogrom, you understand? And that's why they're doing it. It's what they're doing. When we did August, what did we ask for? Demilitarization of the East and release of Nnamdi Kanu was one of our demands. But it was the most denounced demands, even by human rights people. They told us, no, don't include Kanu in your demands. Otherwise, we will not join you. Because Nigeria has been made to believe that a crime committed against Igbo doesn't fall under human rights abuse.
So let's speak about that crime against Igbo, because a popular, I think I read in your paper recently.
And unfortunately the Ohanese people said they should not join the protests, that they are negotiating with Tinubu. They even said that he will release him for Christmas gift, as if he's a Christmas goat.
All right, so speaking about this militarization of the Southeast, recently I read in your platform, a popular media mogul, owner of a media platform in Lagos State, was dehumanized in the Southeast. He was traveling through Anambra State to Asaba Airport, and he was accosted. He and about 3 DSS officials were accosted by military personnel who
dehumanized them,
told them to lie on the floor, in fact, told them they were going to shoot at them, told them that they were IPOB. Do you think there has been accusations that most of the people killed in the Southeast in the guise of IPOB are really not IPOB, that they were killed by military? Do you think that this is exactly what's happening?
These guys are burning down villages, Nigerian army. They are burning down villages. Like, if you are 17 years old in the East, you carry any kind of hairstyle and you run into a military checkpoint, you're automatically targeted. It's profiling.
Oh, wow.
You understand? But Go to Katsina. Listen to this before we end this broadcast. The governor in Katsina said a whole local government with tons of bandits have only 5 policemen in their area. They have only 1 vehicle, no military. But there are bandits all over the place. Why is it that banditry and terrorism in the north is treated with kid gloves, and people who are asking for what is recognized by the United Nations as self-governance, the request for self-governance, is treated as a crime against the state. But terrorism is not treated the same way in the East. I traveled in the northern part of Nigeria during the election in 2019 and also in 2023. You can drive all the way from some of the most, bandits' havens.
Dangerous points.
Dangerous points. And there will be no policeman or army on the way.
Okay.
But you cannot travel in the East today. Is 1 kilometer, 1 military battalion.
Unfortunately,
that
is what it is. Before we leave,
Yes.
can I ask you a personal question?
Go ahead.
You have we have spoken a lot here, and you are more like a definition of speaking truth to power. Oh, Sowore, do you fear for your life?
It's too late. My life had been taken several times to the point that all I'm dedicated to is living my life one day at a time. And the reason is this. When I was leaving the university, I did not know, I left the university at the age of 24, 25. I did not know that I would make it up to 30. So I used to say at that time that I was living on borrowed times. I'm 54 now. If I die today and an autopsy is performed on me, they will find the heart of a 90-year-old man inside my body, because it's been a lot. My heart has carried a lot of pain and anguish. But I've carried on, and as a result, I cannot be afraid of my shadows when people who didn't even do half of what I've done have died of preventable diseases, some malaria. So people like me are lucky. And if you look at the life expectancy of a Nigerian man, I think it's now
50-something, 56,
54.
56.
So I've lived a few months above that. I'm going to be 55 in February. I've tried.
You're not going anywhere yet. But before you go, before you start going where you want to go to, let's look at 2027. There's been lots of chess playing here and there against 2027, and then coalition of some people are already saying that there is no way anybody can beat Ebola Ahmed Tinubu in any election, irrespective of his performance.
No,
if they don't come together. What do you think is the way forward?
You
for
can
Nigeria?
beat Tinubu in an election, but you cannot beat him in a selection, and that's what they are planning. They are not going to have another election.
Are you serious?
Yes. They're not
How
planning.
do you mean?
Well, let's start from here. Who conducts the election? INEC. Right? Go and find out how many federal electoral commissioners were appointed by Tinubu who are APC card-carrying members to replace the ones that are retired. Almost infinite. Did you know that Bola Tinubu appointed 11 Supreme Court justices since he came to power? These two bodies.
So there is no hope in Nigeria will continue like this?
Well, if you don't want to continue like this, make it very clear that we can't continue like this. And that has to happen now. But if you don't, you are going to continue worse than this in the next few months and years to come. Because they have already decided the next selection.
That's a tough call.
Yeah, but they may not. The only thing that I'm hopeful about is that they may not be as lucky as they did last time. Because I think people are tired too.
Do you think they really are tired?
Well, they're tired, but the question is, do they have the energy to push back? That's the question. But in terms of tiredness, you can see it's written all over the horizon. Nigerians are
Why do you
tired.
think they lack the energy to push back if they're really tired?
You see, Nigerians have, and I'm going to say something that will be controversial. Nigerians have a gene in their DNA called the happiness gene. It's called the happiness gene. And they're happy regardless of what they go through, you know, what I call foolish happiness.
Well, naturally, but there's nothing wrong with being happy.
Yes, but how can you be happy when you should be sad? If you don't allow those emotions to run, you know, side by side, then you cannot be upset enough to change your objective conditions. That's where we are. And it's a bad place to be. There are times to be happy, times to be sad, times to be angry. That's what humans are supposed to react to, depending on the circumstances they are faced with. So I think we've done enough.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okoro, you have a message I want to quickly, I don't know if we can.
I'm trying to
we can
fish it out,
take that out. But if we can, that'll be it. Thank you so much.
You know, I'm always available.
And you give me a
All right.
handshake
Yeah,
on there. That's
thank-
good.
thank you very
So,
much. Good
thank
to
you.
have
At
you
least
on
we
the
did not
show.
fight today, right? I'm hoping for
It's-
more no fighting conversations from you.
Now, I'm a fighter, so
I see that is in you.
I would say bring it on.
All right, thank you so
Thank you.
much. And that's it. And we've
Happy
had.
New Year to all your viewers.
Thank you.
No matter what.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
difficult to be happy in a new year.
We'll try.
Even when you don't know what the year.
Exactly.
You know.
We know what it's bringing, and it doesn't look good.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Well, on that very not so good, but a bit good, hopefully with prayer, quotes by Omoyole Sowore, we end the day's conversation. It's been an explosive conversation with Omoyole Sowore. Thank you so much. I appreciate you once more. Thank you for staying with us. My name is Precious Enyi. Thank you so much for obliging.